2022 will be the year of updating our family response plan to prepare ourselves better for natural phenomena and other dangers that surround us. Always thinking on the safety of your family and yours, we will remember the step-by-step to make the family response plan to be better prepared and know how to act at any time. First, let's define what is the family response plan. A family response plan is a set of actions that the family decides to carry out to make sure that they will reduce the damage caused by natural events and prepared in a planned and organized way. Now yes, we are going to elaborate the family response plan in our house. For this, we are going to tour all its surroundings to identify the dangers that haunt us. Step number 1. Risk reduction. The first step is to identify the dangers to which we are exposed inside and outside the house. For example, we may live in an area where shakes are often felt. We live near a volcano that can explode at any time, just like the floods were expected during the rains, or from living on the coastal areas where the tsunami occurred years ago. The recognition of these potential dangers depends on where we live and the characteristics of our home. We must therefore assess how each one of these dangers would affect our family and decide what to do to prevent the dangers from causing human harm. For example, the earthquake could bring down the roof of the house that is in bad condition, so we can decide to renail it to give more firmness. Living in the low-lying areas could cause flooding, so we will clean the drains and the sinks. All this information, as well as other information that will appear on the tour of the house, we will record them in the risk reduction table. Step number 2. Let's draw the sketch of the house. Let's look very closely around our house and identify danger sites. Trees that can fall through the quake, places where water could enter during rain, etc. But we can also look at places that can help protect us from the effect of natural events. With all this information, we are going to organize a safe evacuation route. Inside the house, let's check which places are danger sites. A wall that can collapse with the earthquake, a picture that can fall, areas that will flood easily, etc. But also notice which places can protect us from the violence of the shake, the columns of the house, a strong piece of furniture, or others. We will also identify the way we could follow from where we sleep or where we eat, the kitchen or others. That is the evacuation route we will use to leave the house as soon as possible. Finally, we will make the sketch of the house, and with all the information we collect about dangerous and safe sites, as well as the evacuation route, we will mark it in the sketch the danger sites using yellow triangles, safe sites with green triangles, and arrows the evacuation way to be followed and the door of the house we are going to leave. Step number 3. External evacuation route. Complementing the sketch of the house, we must make the sketch of the neighborhood or community and place in it the dangerous and safe place, as well as the route that must be followed from the house to the place of safety defined by the community so that all the families can gather there. It should be clear to all family members that this is where everyone is going to meet at the time of any emergency, even if they are not at home at the time of the emergency. Step number 4. Define responsibilities. Now that we are clear about the dangers in the house, as well as the safety spots and the evacuation way to the community safe spot, we will agree that responsibility must be assumed by each family members at the time of the emergency. For example, who will guarantee that the exit way from the house is clear so that we all evacuate safely? Who will be responsible for carrying the emergency bag? Who will answer for the keys, among others? It is important for all family members to be clear of the responsibilities they will assume at the time of the emergency. With this information, which we must discuss without rush and repeat it if it's necessary to be sure that whoever has the responsibility can fulfill, we will fill the table of responsibility. On the left, we will put the names of each one of the members of the family and the tasks that will be fulfilled when an emergency occurs that forces to evacuate the home. For example, Maria Lopez, support the evacuation, Carmen Garcia, disconnect electrical equipment, and so on until it completes. Step number 5. Identify priority focus groups. In the house, there will be always those who require some support to face the emergency and especially to evacuate safely. We must review the limitation that elder people, children, pregnant women, or people with disabilities may have. We must review the abilities of who is going to help and the demand for help from the person who requires support. Then we'll put the name on the priority attention table, the age of the person who will help, and specify the name of the person to help, as well as the type of limitation that presents. Step number 6. Let's put together the emergency backpack. Families must prepare a series of basic resources that will permit them to deal with the emergency. The whole of these resources is what we call the emergency backpack. To be of use, it is important to have it armed and handy before the event occurs and taken during the evacuation. The backpack should contain basically the following: important documents, radio, water bottle, medical kit or bag, spotlight, candles, and matches, copies of keys as necessary, and clothing. This basic list does not exclude other resources. However, its importance should be valued since the family will be out of the house for some time. If you look at this moment, we already have the basics for our family plan. Now we are going to check with all the family members to make sure everyone is aware of the decision we have made. This part should be repeated from time to time in the home, especially if someone in the family enters or leaves, if we make major changes in the location of things inside the home. Step number 7. Location of family emergency plan. When we agree on the contents of the plan, let's decide where we are going to put it so that it is in full view of all family members. We suggest that the plan can be located in the dining room. Step number 8. Let's practice. When the plan is elaborated, let us do exercise in the house to practice it with the participation of all. Let's prioritize evacuation, putting into practice all the decisions taken and by the way that we decide that takes us quickly to the safe place of the community. Remember, safety is in our hands. The best gift you can give to yours is to protect them. Government of Reconciliation and National Unity. SINAPRED, we are all.